Yeah, from my perspective. It's my perspective. Yeah, yo, am I wrong or is it just you? Or did my life show me some things that gave me my view? And if I went through what you went through, would I be you? I don't know. That's too many questions with no answer, but plenty chances for many lessons. Am I willing to learn that it's all perception? That the picture that I paint ain't the one that you sketching? So can we disagree without drawing a weapon? Long as I can understand that it's just your perspective. Yeah, it's my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of My Perspective Fridays. I am your host for right now, Uncle Ket. Welcome, everybody. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. That's what's up. All right.
Well, thank you.
The first topic of today is who is the best dressed generation of, I guess, all time. I don't know. What do you think? The best dressed generation.
Well, that's hard, Kat.
That's hard. Yeah, it is.
Kind of intertwines together. It kind of flows through the generations.
Decades, like how people dress in different decades.
Yeah, in different decades. So let's, Olivia, you start us off.
I like how people dressed in the 50s. Like a lot of items in my closet are just 50s.
The 50s?
Yeah.
Word? What type of items we talking about?
I like teen length dresses, rockabilly dresses, stuff like that. I have a lot of those.
Okay. Naya, what you think?
I would have to say like the early 80s/90s. I'm all the way there. I feel like it shows through how I dress today too. I just love the colors, how they would color block. And I feel like it was just so creative because you could just like throw in anything and just be like, hey, this is my style.
For sure. Daphne, what about you?
I feel you on that.
You're on mute.
Oops. I was saying I feel like I like the 60s. I like the pops, the colors, and the patterns, and I feel like that's definitely coming back this year too, because I've been going to the mall a lot, and that's what I'm seeing. So,
for sure. Tila, I think I know what Tila's gonna say, but what you gonna say, Tila?
I don't know. I kind of flow through all generations because, like I said, everything always a comeback, throwback, something.
Yeah, it is.
But I can say like a lot of the 70s, 80s, I feel Olivia back with the Victorian style. I kind of like their flow and the nice glam of the 50s and 60s with the nice dress. Everybody dressed all proper and nice, no matter what the occasion was back then. But then you threw in a little of the hip hop style when you get to the 80s and the 90s. But I could kick it back through anything. So if you go through my closet, you probably see an array of everything. So I don't kind of follow trends, but I follow styles that work for me.
For sure.
What about you, Kat?
I think I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit, right? I'm gonna say early 2000s. Only reason why I'm saying that is because of how like we seen how much music really influences like how people dress and stuff like that. And I don't know, big white tees, the big the big pants and Air Forces, like that's like a vibe, you know what I mean? But
like
I also
Nellyville style.
Say it again.
Like Nellyville style.
Yeah, you're doing for the 99 2000s, you know what I mean? So, but what I do like too is like 30s, 40s, like the simplistic style, like of how everybody was always like dressed in a suit and like, you know, well upkept. You know, early 2000s, people can put on a tank top, a bandana, and a fitted hat and look totally different from the simple style that they had back then. So I kind of like both of them. You know what I mean?
In the 90s, people said I dressed like a dude more than I dressed like a female because I had the baggy pants, like you saw. I had the visors to the side. I had the bandanas, the nice tank tops flowing, and the Timbs on. So I definitely feel the style you're talking about.
Yeah, that's how I dress now.
For sure. So how do you guys think that like the generation that you like the most, how do you think that impacts how you dress now? Like in a way, like how much does it impact how you dress now? Or does it at all?
Like personally, like just knowing that I really like the 80s and the 90s, I feel like it makes me feel like more relaxed and freedom, like free and expressing myself. I feel like it also kind of, you know, impacts like my brothers. I have 2 younger brothers. They see how I dress, they kind of incorporate their style into it. And then even with the generation today, you'll see like different people tap into what was, popular back in the day. Especially like Daphne was saying with the 70s, we see flare plants a lot now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like, whoa, where did this come from? At first, the flares in the 2000s, like, okay, what are you wearing?
Yeah, literally.
Yes, and that started with the bell bottoms, the big legged pants, the palazzos. They just changed the name of it a little bit, but it's all the same style. Love it.
For sure.
I feel like out of all the generations, though, I like the generation we're in right now. Because I'll go to the mall and like you'll see someone wearing the 60s, someone with the 90s vibes, someone with the 2010 vibes. Like we wear whatever we want. And personally, I've never been one to like follow trends or styles or what's popular. Like I just wear whatever I think is cute. So a little bit of everything.
For
I
sure.
agree with that day. It's how you feeling that day, because every day is a different day. You have a different personality. Certain outfits make you feel a different way. So some things make you feel happy. Some people make you feel relaxed. Certain things make you feel, hey, because they don't want to be real nice and proper and all suited up. So it just depends. And that's like Daphne said, this generation, you can do whatever you want. There's no such thing as this is the only thing you can and should do. If you go on social media, it'll help you out. Pinterest is like my daughter's biggest thing. Why did I find me an outfit? Where are you going? On Pinterest? For what? So everything is there. So mix and match it up.
So you think social media has a big impact on how we dress today, rather than it being more like social on an intimate social scale?
Like that social media is where I found all of what I pretty much wear. Like I saw a shop on this stuff called Dolls Kill. And like,
oh yeah,
that is where I get all the crazy things I have in my closet.
You said Dogs Kill?
Dolls Kill.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Like,
if you go on Olivia's page, you see her flossing a lot of stuff. Olivia be
on that website or something. She be rocking them
plastic skirts. That is from Dolls Kill, but their social media. I mean, that's how a lot of people find them, is through social media and stuff like that. So it's just plays a pretty big part, in my opinion.
Especially when you're looking for something different. Because if you go to your local mall, it might be different than someone else's local mall. So you're able to find things online through social media and be like, oh, that's where you were shopping at. That's where you got that shirt, where you got those shoes. And you're like, oh, cool. Because a lot of times you don't know about some of these smaller boutiques and stores and outlets that deliver, and you can get anything from anywhere where you can't find it right at home. So definitely social media has an impact to help you out or to make it a little worse for some people. Because like certain age groups don't need to be wearing some of the same things, so it depends. But social media definitely has an impact.
I feel like this generation doesn't really have an actual style, because it's like a lot of people are biting off of what we saw back in the day. Like, is there a style for this generation?
For sure. What generation style do you dislike the most? Like, which one are you not a big fan of?
I say like before the 20s, because like that's when women weren't really allowed to show a lot of skin. Like in the 20s too. Yeah. I mean, that's where it started. It's in the 20s, but like, come on.
Yeah. I personally, the 80s. I don't know. Like, I know how like roller skating was big and like them windbreakers and like the like, what is it, magenta and teal type of thing. I don't know if that's really. Like, some people can make it work. Don't get me wrong. Like, I might see someone in the mall dressing like that, but like, damn, like that person looks good. But like, for me personally, I don't know.
That's how you put it together.
Yeah, I gotta say that. It's how you put it together.
I knew they was gonna get offended.
That's how you put it together. Though some people can mess up a style and be like, okay, and you kind of put your own little flavor to it. So it's kind of hard to say, because you can have a style, a trend of a generation, and then somebody flip it and put their own little twist on it. You be like, okay, you just ruined that for everybody. So I think that's a little bit what Daphne talked about. But I know the generation in the 80s, I remember like the slouch socks. And I remember it was colorful. Like she said, it was a lot of colors in there. And that was just people showing their personal style. The one, I can't remember if it's maybe it's the early 2000s when these kids want to start showing their backsides. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants, that became like a trend all around. Like, why you call this thing called just sagging your pants as a style, as a trend? Don't do that. That's the only thing. I can't say it's in the generation, but I can't. But the other styles I like. It was just that one particular thing that was a trend back then.
I agree.
I did not like.
It's kids still
And you
do it.
walk around
Still.
everywhere and people are still sagging their pants, and it's annoying.
Yep.
Very.
Naya, did you say which one did you dislike?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I don't think I really have a strong dislike for anything. Because I like to pull from different, pieces to create my own style. But I agree with Tila and Olivia as far as like women not being able to show skin. I like to show skin a little bit. And the sagging, like the dudes could be a little excessive with it. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I can't remember when it really, really started, but it's been going on ever since. So it's like, what generation do you really call the sagging of the pants? Please give
I think with guys with sagging of the pants, I think it started in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because when I think about fashion, I honestly refer to hip hop and stuff like that. Like how, hip hop, like even now, like everybody's wearing Jordans, everybody's wearing Nikes, right? That came from a time where it was Adidas and then Nikes and then
Adidas, Converse.
You know what I mean? Reebok. Right? So like in the 90s, that's why I feel like a big cultural shift came when it came to how everybody dressed and how everybody approached it. You know what I mean? On the street level, obviously you still had your high fashion, which is going to always evolve differently. But when it comes to, what is it called? Like street fashion?
Streetwear. Yeah.
Streetwear. That's what I'm trying to say. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's all different. It's all different. And the thing about the 90s, like you said, when it starts transitioning over to other generations, when you start mixing the styles, it's like you got a little bit of hip hop, but then you can add a little bit of high fashion to it to make it a totally different look. So the fact that now you can do whatever you want and you have so many things to pull from, it's hard to say if it's a style, if it's a trend or a fashion. It's just what it is today.
So where do y'all think fashion is going to be in the next 10 years, in the next decade?
That's a good one.
Very good question.
Good question. I think
because it depends on how we evolve as people.
Yeah, it really does.
What are we gonna do? Grow a third arm?
No, but what I mean is, like, for example, like this generation, they're like more like, no, like I'm gonna do what I want. You're not gonna tell me this. You're not gonna tell me that, which I think is good because like it's like your freedom of expression. You're expressing who you are. So it just depends on if we're gonna continue that way or if maybe the next generation is gonna be like more kind of closed off, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And it also depends, like how Marquette said, music kind of influences the way we dress. It depends on the music, the popular music at that time. With that as well. But honestly, I do think, I don't know exactly, but there'll be some, like how we are now, pulling styles to different generations. That's still going to continue on. So
it's always going to be a pull from generation to generation. The only thing that may happen, because it's going to be a more high-tech world a little later, is I feel like some of the things we watch on TV is like, is this really going to happen? Are people going to really be walking around in something that look like a space suit, but then put a belt on and a hat, and it'd be like fly? And you're like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. But it's more that technical side of fashion that people are drawing to, like the buckles, which the buckles was a big thing. People wearing the big buckles and straps on clothes back in the day. But those things may come back to make it look a little more of that technology world or outer space type of feeling to it. I feel like they might go towards that way with a different
for sure.
For sure. Like, especially, I don't know, when you said that, I thought about like Kanye and just like how he has a huge impact on like the youth when it comes to fashion, and just seeing what he got going on. I'm just like, ooh, I don't know.
He had people wearing holes in their shirts for 2 years straight. $300 shirts with holes all right here. Like they got
what are they doing with them shoes? Them shoes are just so weird. Like
they are.
I don't know.
But like the next 10 years, I feel like where it's going to go is, I think the weird is, what we consider weird or different is going to be like, people are going to embrace that and embody it and be like, all right, if it's not different, then it's going to be weird. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that's plain and simple, if we're drawing from the past generations, right? We don't want to pull from past generations. We want to create our own new wave. And I feel like that's what in a sense what Kanye did. He was like, well, I can pull from another shoe, right, or another clothing outlet or anything, but he was like, nah, I'm gonna just come up with my own design and it's gonna sell, you know. So following what Tila said, you know, I feel like if the clothes are getting smaller and smaller and tighter now, then at what point is it they're gonna be like off, or just like somebody, you know, they're just gonna switch, you know what I mean? Like,
the oversized look is coming back in, so I don't know if y'all noticed, but the oversized look is coming back in. So
Yeah, with
yes,
the
it is.
jeans, mom
yeah,
jeans, dad
big
jeans.
jacket, yeah.
Early 2000 be lean with it, rock with it.
Hey.
Also, another thing that may play a part is the fact that we've been so structured to say this is a male type of outfit, this is a female type of outfit. I think now it's starting to kind of blend together where it's no such thing as a specific look for a female or a male. So I think they're going to have like unisex outfits where it works for whoever you are, no matter what you are, and make it your style.
Exactly.
I feel like that's what we want to.
Yeah.
For
Stores
sure.
have actually been incorporating that already, though. So.
Yes, absolutely. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
a
they
real
are.
standout where it's not no such thing as a male-dominated world, female-dominated world. We're gonna be wearing some of the same things and just switching it up a little bit.
Exactly.
For sure.
What I will say is I think it's hard how they manage, or like how do you keep on inventing fashion when so much has been done? You know what I'm saying? Like where the patterns are, like how do you, obviously you can invent a new pattern, but what I'm saying is a pattern is a pattern. You know what I'm saying? It's either pattern or it's plain. So it's just like, where are we gonna get more new ideas?
It's interesting that you say that, because when you were saying something, I believe it was about like the generation now and how they dress. I think I said this already too. Like, it's no originality, like, because we're all pulling from what was already, you know, given to us. So I just feel like in the future, what, like you said, what happens, because
I just think there's just so much you can do. And I think we're kind of reaching that. So we're just like, whatever you want to wear, just wear it.
Yeah, and that ties into the music, like I'm saying, the music kind of helps decide what the generation, but the music is intertwined. It's pulling back. It's not original anymore either. So it's like, it's hard to say what's the style, what's the trend, what's the fashion going to be. It's a hodgepodge because everything is going to be remixed somewhere down the line. Remix.
Yeah, remix. That's a key word to add on to that, because in 10 years, think about it, in 10 years, that little kid who's about 10 years old now is going to be 20 then. They don't know how people dress, so to speak, in the 70s or the 80s. So me being in my late 30s or 40s, I can come up with design and have the youth going crazy for it because it's something totally different and new to them, but it's really not new. So like, that's what they do to Jordans. Jordans really come out with the same shoes every year and people go nuts over them because they're retro. You know what I mean? So like, just keep remixing it.
Style pattern, but the same concept, original template.
And cheaper material.
That's probably why you're right about that cheaper material, but that's probably why all these patterns are coming back in pop to colors, because everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is so cute, this is new, but that's like kind of 60s vibes. So
for sure. For sure.
That's why people don't want to get rid of the clothes in their closet. You know, it used to be back in the day, it was like, okay, this is not a trend anymore, this is not it, so you get rid of all your clothes in the closet, buy a whole new wardrobe. Now you don't have to do that. Just keep what's in your closet, because guess what? It's coming back in the next 5 years maybe. Something is going to be retroactive in that concept of clothing in your closet. So don't get rid of it.
For sure. Well, I might personally add my opinion. The best dressed person up here right now is Olivia. Can we all agree to that?
Yeah.
Can we all agree to that? Give her a little hand though, because
we gotta see a spin. Let's see a spin around.
What you got on now?
I am literally wearing sweatpants because I wasn't planning on standing up. But I do have like this little alien shirt.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little blazer, because why not?
And if she was going somewhere, what would you put on your feet? What would your shoes be with that outfit, Olivia? Because I know your shoes be.
Oh yeah.
I do have a pair of neon pink heels.
Ooh, yeah, that would definitely go with it.
It's got neon in it.
Yeah,
neon
that definitely would go with it. Yes.
I have a neon pink plastic skirt.
Sweet.
Ooh, nice.
Call a miss, put it on.
Yeah.
So what era or generation think had the best women's clothing?
Ooh, that's hard.
Right? That's hard. All right, so we got to start with the 20s though, because Olivia already said before the 20s they was wearing the big dresses with fake wigs. We not.
The Victorian area was on. I love the Victorian area. era.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
do
going
wish
back
that
to
we
the
could go back to that.
Yeah, I
Just
love
like
the
everyone
Victorian
wearing
era.
corsets and fancy dresses when I'm going to McDonald's. Like, yeah, what's up with it?
That's what I'm saying. I think the Victorian era is like, what?
Yeah.
We could do that.
I would
Alright.
wear that.
Olivia, what era has the best women's clothing?
Victorian. I want to wear corsets on the daily and have it be normal.
Yeah.
I want to wear that. And 50s as well.
In the 50s?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I like
Naya, what you think?
I would have to say 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
What about the 60s and 70s women's clothing?
Just like the elegance of it, and then the funkiness as well.
Yeah.
Afro.
Free spirited, like whimsical. I love it. Hey, the froze are back, all up under this right here. You know, it's coming. It's here. The bell bottom jeans and pants. Remember that era? Yes, love it.
Daphne, what you think?
Now.
Now? Ooh, why
Women,
now?
we
Why
just-
now?
We can wear whatever we want, you know. Obviously, there's always going to be that one person judging, but like, it's not like back in the day, you know. Like, if you want to show skin, you'll show skin. If you don't want to, you won't. So just wear whatever you want.
Yeah, let that belly button hang out.
It's cute that you mentioned that because back in the 80s and 90s, people were wearing the crop tops and the tight pants and everything with the different like snake skin, different things happening, and people weren't really aware that we were doing it back in the 70s and the 80s. But that was a big trend with the crop tops. But now it's like, boom, everybody wants to put on a crop top, no matter what gender you are. So that's why I said when it comes to clothing, it's everything. So I can agree with Daphne. Do what you want right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. not to compartmentalize the two, but men and women, who do you think pushes fashion forward the most, men or women?
Women.
Women for sure, right?
The industry's bigger for women.
I would say that so. I would say that so too. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we all agree as women.
Yeah, women. It's because we're always trying to push the limit. We were told we couldn't do stuff for so long, and now you get to see what our creative minds can put out there, what things that we can put out there. Most people feel like, maybe that's too far. People are not going to like it, but our minds are not the same anymore. We're not in this ages where it's like women only could be in the house, so they didn't have fashion, right? Because they weren't going anywhere, or they were always working in the house, doing something with the kids, so they couldn't express their thoughts, their feelings, or be nice and sexy and sensual when they wanted to. Now you can do that. So I think women are always trying to push women to say, hey, it's not all about us just sitting in the background. We can come to the forefront. And the men are seeing that. A lot of them now, this generation, are accepting that and saying, yeah, go for what you want. Ladies, we're here for you.
All right,
What I do wish is that these men would try a little bit more. Like, they don't, I feel like they just like stick to one thing and they're like, that's it. That's all I'm gonna wear.
That's
like,
it.
No. I have so many like different pairs of shoes. I got high heels, boots with high heels. I got I got cowboy boots, cowgirl boots. I got Uggs. I got my sneakers, and like that's 5 different styles. And what do you guys have? You'll stick to dress shoes and maybe sneakers.
You're right.
And no, because like I need some variety. Like if I'm dressing up and I'm wearing, like I need you to be matching my vibes. Like I want to be able to dress 3 different ways in one day, and the male to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, you remember that era when Timberland boots was the shoe for everything. Didn't matter if it was an event, an athletic event, a sport event, athletic event. If it was something major, I see people at weddings with Timbs on. It's like Timbs was like the era where men that's the only pair of shoes they knew was Timberland boots.
Weddings with Tim's, draw the line immediately. Right now.
Well, to be fair, if we want to be honest, right? Because me being the man that you're talking about, yes, I'm simple, Daphne. I got one stylish shoe, right? I got a pair of Vans, a pair of Nikes, and some boots, and some and some dress shoes, right? But to be fair, when it comes to women fashion compared to men's, like our clothes are way more expensive than y'all's. Y'all can piece together. What?
Depends on where you're shopping.
It depends on where you shop
at,
but generally speaking, Generally speaking, for the shoes that I want, yeah.
No. Let's say we go to Forever 21. Let's say we go to Forever 21 right now. You're gonna get a full shirt, maybe even 2 for the price of $30. And what am I gonna get? I'm gonna get like a crop top for 30.
So depending on where you shopping, since you brought up the shoes, Kat, your feet are bigger.
Like a crop top for $30.
That's what I'm saying.
$30 for a crop top?
I mean, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
buy it.
girl.
What I'm saying is that, like, I'm gonna go to Plato's Closet. I'm gonna go to TJ Ross. Ross be having good clothes, but like, I definitely feel like girls' clothes is more expensive than guys. When it's even less clothes, it's less material. Why are you charging me so much for it?
So you saying y'all spend way more money than men on clothes?
What she
Who
said
said
was
anything
we have
about
less
who said
material for the same price. Is what she said. For the price,
Less material for the same price?
Yeah.
Oh no. Because I always wonder why my sisters got so much stuff, and I got like a couple pairs of pants and shirts and stuff like that.
Because
I don't know.
guys,
Maybe it's me.
I can tell you why. Because I have boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like name brands. A lot of females could care less about name brands as long as it looks good. If it
That's
looks
probably
good,
what it
makes
is,
me feel good, I can get it. But y'all go for the name brands.
For sure.
That's why it's more expensive.
Yeah, I can't just wear no regular plain jeans and some
Who's
Walmart
gonna know what
shoes.
jeans you're wearing?
Huh?
Who's gonna know what jeans you're wearing?
The person that's looking at me.
No one's gonna be like,
coming from
I have never walked past a person and been like, I wonder what brand that is. I might be like, dang, those are some nice jeans, but I'm not like, what brand is that?
You're lying, and I have 6 shirts. I recycle them. I got 6 shirts and 4 flannels. I just wear them interchangeably.
And that's another thing. A lot of now with the generation, because before people like thrift stores, secondhand shops, people's like, that's not it for me. Even as an adult, but more kids, parents will shop in thrift shops and the flea markets and things like that. Secondhand clothing. Men don't want to do that.
I do.
I don't know why. So
Yeah.
now they're starting to feel more like, oh, it is a good thing. Something that was $100 before when it was first bought, and now it's in a secondhand store, you might get for $10, $20, $30, $40. Why not? If you want a name brand, shop in the thrift store for less.
For sure. Half the shirts I got came from the thrift stores.
That's what's up. That's what I'm saying. This generation is now getting up on the game of secondhand. But before, you wouldn't catch people alive, dead, or whatever in secondhand clothing. Unless it was yours, because if you had a lot of kids in the house, that's what you were getting anyway. So we couldn't help it.
For sure. All right, one more question, guys. So I don't think I asked who was the best dressed men generation for men. So what do y'all say for men? Who is the best dressed generation for men? Who takes the title?
I feel like there's not a lot to go for.
I don't know. Is the Fred Astaire age? Was that the 50s, 60s? Fred Astaire, when men are always in suits. Men were always dressed to the nines, no matter what their economic status was.
I think that would be like.
Men did not have like jeans or sweats. They always had dress clothes. Was that the 60s?
I think it's like 40s, 60s, 40s, 50s type of thing. Yeah.
That generation. I just can't remember which one it is at the moment.
Yeah. The 60s is where they had their shirt open like this. They had the chest hair out.
Chest hair out.
I would have to stick with my 90s vibes. I just love it. For the
90s.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia, what you think?
Agreeing with Kat, 40s and 60s.
For sure.
Yeah.
Daphne, what you gonna say?
I'm the only one defending now. Because you might see someone wearing a sweater vest, someone dressed in a suit, someone in jeans, rocking some nice sneakers, like a little bit of everything.
Okay, I walk around my school and the dudes are sagging their pants and I can see 2 butt cheeks and I'm like, no.
So Olivia and Daphne on opposite ends of the spectrum. All right, cool. All right, y'all. So what are your final thoughts on who is the best dressed generation? Final thoughts. We'll start with T. Let's start with you.
I'm not gonna give it up to anyone. I feel like whatever you want to wear when it comes to generation, because it all hodgepodge together. It's mixed max, it's remixed, it's something. So I can't really say what generation is the best, as long as you're your best you and whatever you're doing from what generation that you choose that day. You do you.
Do you, boo.
Click all of the above. Agree with Taylor. Click all of the above for that one.
All right, cool.
90s for me. I'm sticking with it.
She ain't going nowhere. No buds, no nothing wrong. Stand with it.
I'm sticking with now. Whatever this generation is, we're all wearing whatever we want, different styles, different whatever. Wear it.
Wear it. Whatever makes you happy.
Two truths.
Hey.
All right, that's
What about
perfect.
you, Kat?
Well, my final thought